Hey everybody, this is Steve 87th here, bringing you another mail call. Hey everybody, Steve 87th here. Well, kind of recapping what happened in the last 2 months. It started off with a small meet and greet at Tammy's Hobbies in Beaverton, Oregon. Down there, I met up with Pete Motley, JJ from Great Northern, and Scott Johnson, who you guys have seen running a lot of Southern Pacific stuff at the Northwest. So that was kind of a fun time. And then I'm going to go over all the things that I got in the couple of places that I went to. Okay, so the first thing that I got was this bag while I was down in Oregon. So in Oregon, they actually have 3 times as many hobby shops in the Portland, Oregon area than I have in all of Washington, it seems like, anymore. There's Tammy's Hobbies, which I picked up some stuff. There is Whistle Stop Trains over on the eastern side of Oregon. And then in the middle of Oregon, there is another hobby shop. The third hobby shop being the Hobby Smith in the Hollywood district of Portland. But anyway, so these are from all of them. It was all combined, so let's see what's in the bag. Okay, so I may not get the right hobby shop for each one of the places that I went to or where I got everything from, but we're going to start off with Tammy's. Tammy's is my go-to place a lot of times for glues and colors and all that kind of stuff. So I got some new glue. I decided to try, let's see how these softens and removes paint from plastic in minutes, the Strip Magic, because I have quite a few things that I would like to get some paint on and repaint them. I also picked up a Vallejo Deep Yellow. I forget exactly what I was going to use that for, but there was a reason for it. And then I also picked up some AK Interactive Damp Earth. I want to see how that works because I've got some of the other ones, and well, I live in the Northwest, so it's always damp earth. And then I decided to get a couple of the AK Interactive Real Color markers. So I went with a wood base and a deck tan to see if I can make wooden things for my deck, for my trailers and things like that, a lot easier to go through. And I wanted to try these out anyway to see how they all worked. Next thing that we went to, I know who those are all from the Hobby Smith in Central Portland. So Tammy's again was in Beaverton. This is in Central Portland. I picked up, I know I have another one of these, but I picked up a skeleton trailer from Sylvan for some logging trucks that I want to make up, and we'll see some more of those a little bit later. I picked up another Tillamook truck. I have one already. Tillamook is a farmers cooperative on the shores of the Oregon coast. They're famous for their cheeses, but they also have a line of ice cream. So this is their vanilla bean ice cream on the side of a truck. So I figured I could get that one. And then actually I did find out that I do have a golf course along parts of the train track. So I decided to get some golf carts that they had, which was kind of cool. Rock Island Hobbies. I know they've got Rock Island has been coming out with a whole bunch of different things lately, so it's kind of neat to see that. And then lastly, from Whistle Stop Trains, they've got a good mix of both new and old stuff that they kind of bring in, and they have some different collections that come in. So they also have some old things that are laying around. Got me a big Promo Trucks Kenworth truck, flatbed. I'm sure I could always use something like that, but the price was really good on it. Got me some, what are these called again? The Bull. Yeah, I can't think of these, but these are the bull protectors from the fronts of trucks, which will go nice on the logging trucks that I've got with some of the logging things. Could always use a couple of culverts. I mean, these were only $3.75. I figured that was pretty good. I also found some bargains in their bargain basements. One of them was this 1/87th scale box truck for steel case. I mean, it was a whole $5. These are kind of hard to come by. They had a brand new Herpa van. I hadn't seen this one before, so it's a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Since my construction companies and all that are all orange, I thought that would be a good people mover. I also got this, which I had not seen in a very, very long time. I think this is an actual collaboration vehicle that was done between Herpa and Promotex a while ago, but it's a service vehicle. So it's an older kind of service vehicle. Not sure if this was quite scratch built or if this was actually came this way. I forget how this all came about, but I found that and it was only $10, so it's kind of cool. So that is my Portland trip. So now we're going to move on to what our next one was. All right. So from our little meet and greet that I had down in Oregon to the Vancouver area train show in Vancouver, British Columbia. I went up there. It was a pretty cool kind of show. They did all kinds of different things. What was neat was they also had demonstrations that you could do and all that. One of the things that I did was they had a whole bunch of rock faces and just a bunch of color. And this is just a plaster rock carving. And they were just giving them out. They said, here's a rock carving, or here's, portions of a rock face or something like that. And here's all these waters, just watercolored, very, very diluted paints, and just go to town and you got to walk away with it. So I thought mine came out pretty cool. It's kind of just sort of a there rock, but it could probably be placed anywhere. So that's kind of nice. While I was there, I actually went and it was all in Canadian, so it was a little bit cheaper for me in a sense. So I got me another Scene Master fire engine, which I've got a ton of these, so I'll just add that to my roster. I also wound up picking up a couple of the Mini Metals 4x4 pickup trucks, one in lime green, and then the other one in the tan. This is also the truck I think that they use for the Stuntman. I've also found out that I already had a tan one of these, so this truck may become part of a logging operation or something like that, where the two of them are the same. And it looks like we've got some parts to put on there, probably the side mirrors to make it easier, but these weren't too bad. I hadn't just seen them in a while, so I decided to pick those up. And then Smokebox Graphics, one of the train places that was there actually carried the Smokebox Graphics, so I decided to pick up the, these are actually reflective FRA stripes for trains. So it shows you how to place them in the different ways. They've got the double-sided one as well as the singles, and then the tall and the shorts. I've done that on my tank cars already, so I'm sure there's a bunch of other cars that I need to put the FRA stripes on. So this was pretty cool. They look kind of nice. They are actually reflective. I know it's in the plastic package and you can't see them, but they're vinyl, so they're a little bit more reflective. So that was my Vancouver area train show. I decided not to go to any of the train stores that were up there because, well, I was already at the train shop and a lot of those shops were already there. So let's see what we got next. All right. So during the times between train shows and all that, I wound up winning a bid on eBay for something. And to be perfectly honest, it's been a little while now. I can't remember what it was that I bought. Oh, I know what this is. Yeah. This was actually a steal of a deal. As you guys know, a lot of you might know, I'm into fire departments and fire trucks and all that. Well, a while ago, sorry, let's turn this around so you can actually see it. Faller came out with a firehouse, even though it's a German firehouse and all that, but it's a modern firehouse. Okay, let me see if I can bring this back up a little bit. Maybe. There we go. Take it into half size. So they came up with a modern firehouse, which is kind of cool. You can see that it's got a couple of different things that are going on here. And I think the back shows us the breakdown. Yeah. So the nice thing is, with all my fire trucks and all that, you can see that it has a 4-bay equipment shed for all of the different equipment that you would do, and it actually also has solar panels on it. Then it kind of has a detached engine or a detached office area and living area that you can get. So this is a pretty big setup, but the box is pretty heavy unto itself. So it comes with a lot of pieces, and I'm sure it's highly detailed, just like most of the Faller stuff is, but also probably easy to put together. So this will be a nice new, like, modern fire station that I could use. And I got it for about half price on eBay. So again, yeah, it's German, but Faller is one of the few that makes good modern type stuff and all that. The European and the American places nowadays are very, very much alike. So this will be kind of fun, and it looks like it has the newer modern collapsing doors rather than the roll-up type doors, so that'll make another modern tinge to it. The other thing is might be able to actually move this around or something and do some different things with it to make it out. So I'm curious to see how this will come out. Again, this will probably go in my stash until I'm ready to build something, unless I decide to do a diorama on a fire department, and then I'll probably use this. So that was my eBay buys for the last 2 months. Okay, then to finish out my repertoire of what I got these last 2 months, we go to the Boeing Employees Swap Meet. It's an annual swap meet. They've held it for 44 years down in Kent, Washington. It used to be one of the largest ones in the state of Washington, but it isn't anymore, and it's much more of a swap meet. So unfortunately, there wasn't anything to show except for tables, so I didn't take any videos. But I did get a big bag. And then last but not least was all of the different various places and things that I went to while I was at the show. So we're going to start off with some project vehicles. So guy had a collection of Boley trucks, Boley, Walters, I don't know which ones they are at the time. Single axle flatbeds, which are kind of cool. I got all four of these all four of these for $6. So they're going to make great bases for something, I'm sure, or I'll just use them as flat trucks or something like that. But you guys know me, I always do stuff with trucks, and I've got a whole bunch of things that I need to work on anyway. So there also was another group that's there, and I hate the fact that he never puts his stuff down here. But he makes logging trucks, or he's got logging truck details, right? He 3D prints this stuff, and you can even see that he has got screws and things like that in it. But this was made for a cab over, but I am sure that I can do some other things. He used them for the older Athearn Kenworth trucks that were built a while ago, but they're resurfacing again. So this one is a pup trailer with the front kind of truck. I wouldn't use a whole lot of those, but these are for like 20-foot logs and things like that, which I could use on my set to be around. This one he's actually had set up for the trailer that adds on to the older Athearn Kenworth trucks, but I'm sure I can get other means to go in there. And also I could use these on my more modern trucks. It comes with everything that you need, including the extension log bunk, so that's kind of cool. I've already got one or two of these. I only got one of these other ones, but I've always wanted to buy a couple more. So he was there. You guys can see the price. Those are 25 bucks a piece. So those will be fun log trucks. Hopefully one day I'll get ambitious again and I'll start making up things. These are interesting. For you East Coasters, you'll never know what these are. I actually bought two of these because it's something that you see a lot of around here. I believe these are the Freightliners. They may be, nope, these are Kenworths. So these are Kenworth dump trucks. All right, so out here in the Northwest, we have tag-along dumps. So you'll have your main dump truck, which is usually 2 to 3 axles, so a 4-axle dump truck on one side, and then they'll usually have these pup trailers. So we have two different types of trucks that are out here. We have transverse dumps, which probably a lot of people know those. You would have the main dump body, you'd have the smaller dump body, and then this gets put into this dumper, and the whole thing is dumped. But the other thing that we have is extension trailers. So these trailers sometimes will be a long ways behind the truck, and these are independently dumps. So what's really kind of funny is you'll see these either parked on the side if they're doing asphalt operations, or in the most cases when they're running these two trucks in double, the front truck normally dumps first by pushing the pup out of the way, and then then they'll pull up straight, and then they'll dump with the pup. So these are actually two independent pups, independent dumps, whereas the other ones would use the same dumping mechanism. So these are kind of a little bit hard to find in a model, but they are all over the Northwest. This is like the standard dump truck for the Northwest. So I was able to pick up a couple of these. They were $50 a piece, and you can see they're all 3D printed. So we do have a lot of people who come to those shows that are local 3D printers and show their wares. All right, lastly, I decided to, I know this is hard, but I'm venturing off a little bit in Heath world. I know that sounds bad. There is a company called Engineering. Okay, so that's their logo, Engineering. All right, they specialize in components and everything to do with lights for things that are not necessarily trains. So for trucks and your outside lights for the housing, all kinds of different types of nodes that they have. This one in particular is a utility flashing simulator. So with this, it's for a utility truck that hangs out on the side of the road and has the flashing rotating lights. Okay. So this has all of the instructions in it on how to put this together. The only thing is that you have to put together a whole kit. The good thing was I talked to the guy who is actually the company owner. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he tells you what the kit comes with. It comes with very good detailed instructions in here. They also have their website for Engineering. But you get the base controllers, and then you get to pick out all of your LEDs that come with it. So he has some inexpensive LEDs. These happen to be 5 micro yellow ones. You can see that they're, let's see if we can get in there. They're really, really tiny. There is 5 of them on this band. Okay, so I asked him, well, what the heck? How do you guys get to do all of this soldering and stuff like that? So he said, well, they've got this LED wire holder, and this is just 2 actually smaller clamps. One clamp is meant for the component. The other one is meant for the wires. They also have the magnetic wire and the magnetic wire stripper, and this all goes through step by step on how to solder everything together. They also, so what I did was I wound up kind of getting a starter kit for putting together LEDs. So I decided to get this with the yellow and then the holding tool. Plus they have a no clean soldering flux that he talks about having. The wire that they use and that they sell is the magnetic wire that's self-soldered. So in other words, once you remove the outer stripping, which you're supposed to do with a soldering iron, it self-tins the wire so that you can just heat it back up again and touch it to where it needs to go to on it, which is all of these little tiny things. And then they also had very thin solder wire too, which you don't get to see very often. But if you guys can see, that's a pretty small roll of solder. They also had basically what is micro-tip soldering iron. Okay, so I went and decided I'll pick up one of the micro-tip soldering irons as well, so that it'll be easier for me to get in there, because everybody's got soldering irons. You know that they're really big and it's kind of hard to get into those. So I decided to kind of get that as a kit. The good thing is there's a long list. He's got a long list of things that you can get that can be customized. They can either be, he has them for both N scale and HO scale, so I'm on the HO scale thing. He has things like emergency flashers, signal flashers, gyro lights for beacons, modern error flashers, rotating beacons, campfire simulators, chasing lights, police 3D LED traffic arrow simulator so that you can, you know, tell people how to go, fire truck rotary ray lights, tower beacon lights, arc simulator, gas welder, machine gun simulator if you want to do machine guns and stuff like that. They also have other simulating programs, early school buses, modern fire trucks, campfires, ditch light simulators, Freds. So they have everything. They even have like a catenary spark simulator. So what I'm looking at is that by doing this and being able to buy the individual LEDs and the smaller boards, I can go ahead and set up some things maybe in vehicles and all that for the future. So again, it's kind of a cool company. I've worked with them I've talked with them and seen them a lot. They have a lot of neat little things here. This is their website for anybody who wants to. Their prices are pretty reasonable. And you can see that they are sorry, let me get this over there. They are local to Battleground, Washington. So it's not that bad. I talked to the man and he said, yeah, you know, if you have a project, you can always call them up, talk to them, and they will talk you through what it is that you want to do and get you the stuff out and package it up as a package. So that was kind of fun. So this is Steve87 saying thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the future.